I tried to tell them, years ago, I really did. I sat my wife down, right here, at this kitchen table. The coffee was brewing. The morning sun was just starting to peek through the blinds, casting those long, lazy stripes across the floor. I remember the smell of the coffee, the warmth of the mug in my hands. I told her what I saw, what I knew. She just smiled, that sad, tired smile she'd started wearing, and told me I was working too hard, that I needed to sleep. She didn't believe me, not a word. Later, I tried telling my brother. We were out fishing, the only sound was the gentle lap of water against the boat. I thought, maybe here, away from everything, he'd listen. He's always been the practical one. I laid it all out, every detail, exactly as it happened. He just clapped me on the shoulder, laughed, and told me I had too much imagination. He said I should write a book. After that, I went to Dr. Evans. I thought a professional, someone trained to listen, would understand. I sat in his stiff leather chair, the room smelling of old books and polish, and I spoke for nearly an hour. He just scribbled on his notepad. At the end, he prescribed me something for anxiety. He said stress can make the mind play tricks on you. That was the first time I felt it. The real coldness. The feeling of being completely and utterly alone. So I stopped talking. What was the point? It was like shouting into a void. My voice just got absorbed, vanished. I learned to wear a mask, to nod and smile at parties, to talk about the weather and the stock market. I became the person they all expected me to be. The normal husband, the reliable brother, the stable patient. But every night, when the house was quiet, I'd remember. I couldn't forget. The truth didn't go away just because no one would listen to it. It stayed with me. A constant, silent passenger. It sat beside me in the car. It stood behind me in the mirror. It was a weight in my chest that never went away. I learned to live with it, to carry it. You get used to any burden, if you carry it long enough. People would ask how I was, and I'd say fine. And the strangest part is, after a while, I almost believed it myself. The daily routine has a way of sanding down the sharp edges of reality. You get up, you go to work, you come home. You watch TV. The days bleed into one another until the extraordinary just feels like a bad dream you once had. But dreams have a way of creeping back in. A scent, a sound, a particular slant of light would bring it all rushing back. I'd be standing in the grocery store, staring at a row of cereal boxes, and suddenly I'd be right back there. The memory was so vivid, so real, it would knock the air out of my lungs. I learned to brace myself for those moments, to just breathe through them until they passed. My silence brought me peace, of a sort. It brought me a quiet life. My wife stopped looking at me with worry in her eyes. My brother started inviting me out again. Dr. Evans declared me much improved. I had rejoined the world of the sane, the reasonable. All it cost me was the truth. It seemed like a fair trade at the time. But a lie, even a silent one, has its own kind of weight. It changes you. It isolates you in a way that no one can see. You're at a family dinner, everyone's laughing at a joke, and you're a million miles away. You're there, but you're not. You're a ghost at your own life's banquet. And no one even notices you've faded. The years passed, 10, then 15. Life went on. We moved to a new house. The kids grew up and left for college. I got a promotion at work. Everything on the surface was perfect, a picture of success. But the foundation was built on what I hadn't said. This whole perfect life was balanced on a secret I chose to keep buried. I sometimes wonder what would have happened if they had believed me. If just one person had looked at me and said, "I hear you. Tell me more." Would it have changed anything? Or would it have just pulled them down with me? Maybe my silence was a kindness. Maybe I was protecting them, not just myself. That's a story I told myself on the bad nights. But the frustration never fully disappeared. It would simmer just below the surface. A quiet, constant anger, not at them, not really, but at the sheer impossibility of it all. How can something be true, be real, if you're the only one who sees it? It makes you question your own mind. It's the loneliest feeling in the world, and that's why I'm talking now. Not to them. It's too late for that. I'm talking to this camera, to the silence of this room. Because the weight has become too heavy. Keeping it inside doesn't make it go away. It just lets it fester. It grows in the dark, becomes something monstrous. The event itself, what I saw, almost doesn't matter anymore. The real story is what happened after. The slow erosion of my own reality. The choice between being right and being alone, or being silent and being accepted. I chose acceptance. I don't know if it was the right choice. I'm not sure there was a right choice to make. It's the quiet that gets you. In the beginning, their disbelief was loud. The arguments, the worried phone calls, the appointments. But then came the quiet. The subjects that were never raised. The questions that were never asked. A silence so profound it was like a physical wall between me and everyone I loved. A wall I helped build. I learned to live behind that wall. It was safe there. Nothing could get in, but nothing could get out either. All my real thoughts, my real fears, they stayed with me. My own private collection of horrors. I became a curator of my own unspoken truths, dusting them off in the dead of night. The reason I'm saying this all now is because I'm tired. I am so profoundly tired of carrying it. The act of pretending, day in and day out, for decades. It takes a toll. It hollows you out from the inside until you're just a shell. A functioning, smiling, empty shell. And I don't want to be empty anymore. I know what this will sound like. The ramblings of an old man. Maybe you're right. Maybe Dr. Evans was right all along, and this is just a story my mind created to cope with something else. At this point, the line between what happened and what I've remembered is so blurred. I'm not sure I know the difference myself, but it feels real. The memory of it still makes my heart pound. It feels more real than the coffee I drank this morning. More real than the chair I'm sitting on. And that has to count for something, doesn't it? Even if you're the only person in the world who remembers a thing, it still happened. Your memory is the only thing keeping it alive. So, here it is, my confession. Not about what I did, but about what I didn't do. I didn't fight harder. I didn't scream until they listened. I let their disbelief silence me. And I've lived in that silence ever since. I'm just hoping that by speaking it, just once, into the void, maybe I can finally let some of it go. Maybe I can find a little quiet that's my own.